Right.
Well,
week 3.
We're going again. Week 3. And before we get into it, I know you guys heard a voice in the background. Yeah, we'll introduce that stranger in a second. Yeah, Ghost. Yeah, the ghost of fucking fantasy football. I swear the gods are into us all this year. Like everybody's getting punished. It's pretty rough. But we want to show you guys something. It's something put together by our good friend and cohort Chris Stage, who is representing the Golden Tater Tots.
We're the Golden ex-Golden Tater Tots. Yeah,
ex-Golden Tater Tots, and now they're living on a prayer. So we'll see how it goes. But give this a quick listen to, and we will get on into the talk.
This isn't about picking friends. This is about picking winners.
But if he has another kind of a turd, then dude,
you just proved that you've never listened to one of these podcasts before.
Getting that juice. All right, so that's hopefully that all worked out, and we're still getting through this technology.
Levy on a prayer that worked out.
Levy on a prayer. That's what a good way to segue on into this. The guest we happen to have is obviously the one and only Chris Stage. Darth Stage, as I like to call him sometimes when he drinks too much.
Yeah, it's like I am right now.
You're drinking
a nice double IPA.
Oh God, last time I had double IPA did not work out for me at your place. I ended up fucking getting sick and missing a whole night with once Nick came into town. Yeah, anybody asked Nick about how pissed he was that I missed a whole night.
You went night.
Yeah, dude. Well, technically,
double IPA'd.
Yeah. Well, technically, Chris, you went night a couple nights later. You know.
I don't want to talk about that.
All right, fine. We won't talk about that night. It was a good cookie. That's all I'll say. But
there'll be plenty of night talk coming on here with all these injuries. But did want to say, welcome, Chris, to the podcast. It's nice to have you on. And you've been so graceful to put together, some music for the cast, and you got some other tricks up your sleeve coming in the future too. So definitely pretty sweet to have you on, man.
Thanks. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. Feel very special.
You should feel special.
I think that's exactly what Nick said last week. I think he said he feels very special.
No. I'm pretty sure I know what he said. He said he feels like what was it, Chris? Celebrity.
Oh, yeah.
Celebrity.
Yep.
That's right.
Yeah.
God damn it, Nick. That is just too fucking funny. All right. Well, yeah. Before we talk about these games, let's talk about these injuries because so fucking many of them ended up happening. I'm actually looking at a list on ESPN, and it's just called the biggest injuries for week 2, and just going down the list, right up the top, Jimmy Garoppolo, who actually I thought was pretty surprised. I think everybody was pretty surprised about how good he looked. Game 1 and 2. I mean, game 1 wasn't so impressive, but game 2 definitely was pretty impressive until he went down. I know I was loving Julian Edelman's love.
It's a little security blanket.
Yeah.
And if anybody doesn't know, Chris's team is absolutely the fucking dirty New England Patriots, and
Well,
So,
they'll be fine in a couple weeks when Brady comes back, and I think their team's good enough in general to get past this little Garoppolo situation.
yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know
I think
about
we got like a pretty decent team this year, so hopefully we can keep it together with some schmuck at quarterback this week. So I don't know.
Brisket.
Yeah, Brisket or Smokey.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Smokey. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
gonna call it's Jacoby Brissett. So
Jacoby Briss.
we're gonna call him Smokey Brisket.
There we
So
go.
We'll see how see how Smokey Brisket goes. But okay, so going down. Funny enough, the next big name on the list is Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, that's a big one right there. Not that he was doing very much. Pretty piss poor start to his season, anyways. But obviously, Adrian Peterson owners are not too happy.
Yeah.
Chris was saying
Chris,
that.
yeah.
Well, actually, maybe I'll just let you say it. You were telling me it earlier that you were waiting so long. You know,
Oh yeah, 5 years. I've never had the number 1 overall pick in any of my leagues. Got lucky. He fell down to pick 8, and felt pretty sweet about that. But was rewarded with a whopping 5 fantasy points. And,
the whole time you had him, 5 points altogether.
Glorious 5 fantasy points.
Yeah, I was saying that it's got to be the fantasy gods taking it out on you, or just on so many people. Like, there's certain things that just should never happen. Le'Veon Bell and Adrian Peterson should not be the same team.
I mean,
they should not start at the same time.
That was kind of like my strategy that I was going in with the draft. I was going to kind of, let it come to me a little bit and see how it was going to play out. And a lot of wide receivers early, so I was going to go running backs. And, I guess it just didn't work out. But
no,
we'll see.
That was definitely rough.
That is super rough. And yeah, I mean, with the backup situation there, it's kind of that two-headed beast that we've seen in the past when AP was out. And I saw that John Glasgow was pretty quick to pick up what's his name, Jerick McKinnon. And then there's Matt Asiata out there too. So I don't know how that's really going to work out with like who could prosper the most out of that.
Well, I remember when Adrian was out last time, suspended for the whole time. Asiata was fucking insane.
He's the guy that gets all the touchdowns.
Yeah, he got so many. There was I feel like at least one game, and maybe I'm wrong about this, but I feel there was at least one,
something.
3 or 4, like something just insane. It was like, what the fuck? Who the hell is this guy? Like, I don't know. All the experts are toting the McKinnon guy because they're saying he's the better talent. But when AP was out this last weekend, it was for the most part, at least that I saw, was Asiata. But I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. Another one. This is a personal one for me. Danny Woodhead. Out for the year.
That's a big one. That's a
personal one for me too. He's an expat, so.
Oh, that's right.
Kind of hurts.
Well, who was it personal for? It was personal for John, wasn't it? That's who had.
Yeah,
Danny
John
Woodhead?
had Woodhead, and especially that we're doing the 0.5 PPR. That's even more of a bummer for him there.
Yeah. Let's see. Doug Martin.
Yeah,
that was
I think
a bad
that
one.
Did that affect John as well? I think John had Doug Martin.
I don't know who had Doug Martin. Let me take a look at this last scoreboard. Let's see. Against you.
Yeah, it looks like John had Doug Martin.
Yeah, so he already had Charles Sims, the backup, on his team. So looks like he's going to be rolling with him. I mean, from what I've heard, that guy has got some pretty good talent, but not like he wasn't really getting too much out of Doug Martin, anyways.
Yeah,
but it's just another running back that's got a semi-serious or serious injury. Like, just add it to the list of week 2. We've already got so many running back. That position is really tough.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, unless he's thinking that Jerick McKinnon is going to replace Woodhead. I don't know, but God, and it just keeps going on and on. Like Moncrief.
Yeah, Moncrief's definitely
Rolf,
a big one. Yeah.
Rawls, Arian Foster.
Yeah. Which I predicted.
That's no stranger.
Yeah.
To the
No,
Easy
injuries
prediction.
there.
Amir Abdullah, that's another one.
Yeah, I think that's a big one too.
Yeah, they had a
Jesus.
pretty good double running back attack going on over in Detroit.
Yeah.
First couple games.
Oh my God! All right, let's just stop. That's just there's so
Yeah.
many. It's so
You can
early.
see the
I mean,
theme here. Yeah, we're only 2 weeks in, and some really big names have dropped. Running backs are dropping like flies. Like I haven't had any. I'm knocking on wood right now. My team has come out unscathed so far. Feeling very, very lucky about that. But then it's just like, oh wait, we're only about to start week 3, so there's a lot of time to go here. But pretty crazy.
yeah, no, I mean, Joey. Let's see. First week lost his third round pick. Chris, you just lost your first overall pick. I mean, and a lot of these other guys that were going down, they were higher draft picks too. So this is starting to look scary. It's like the waiver wire is going to start to, I don't know, be pretty big in the future. I actually just picked up Matt Ryan.
I saw that.
Kind of
Dropped
yeah.
Ty God.
Oh, I can't deal with that kind of inconsistency. You can't go 5 points and then 28. And
2 weeks in, and you're already talking consistency. You're like, get the fuck off my team, kid. You're done.
Yeah, but I mean, I was watching that game with Chris. Weren't you and I watching that game with the Tyrod? That was the Jets game.
Yeah, and I saw he was not targeting Sammy Watkins either. So
Yeah,
that guy can go suck a dick for all I care.
Speaking of injuries, I didn't see Sammy Watkins on there, but I don't remember seeing him in like kind of the end of the game. Like, so he's
had something going on like this entire season so far.
Yeah, I think last in May he had like foot surgery, the same surgery he had or Julio Jones had last year. But so it's just kind of like a pain management issues from what they're saying. So
yeah, and Julio Jones was kind of injured. He had like a strained calf or something.
Yeah, he's been dealing with that, but it's not stopping him from scoring some good points.
Oh God! All right, well let's get into these.
Let's jump into the matchups. Yeah, and I think a good place. Again, we didn't get to everybody's last time, so want to start with some of the teams that didn't really get talked about. And Chris, that's definitely your team. And I will throw out there, you did have a really high scoring first week, and of course we accidentally, in quotes, didn't get to talk about that. And here we are now going to talk about your team that unfortunately didn't have such a hot week this week. But I mean, even still, you ran into last year's buzzsaw, as we were calling Misha, who puts up 150 fucking points against you as the highest score of the week. But yeah, obviously you were dealing with some injuries and some things that were pretty out of your control.
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much got Misha this week, so I feel like that's going to be a thing going. His team's pretty stout this year. I mean, got Fig Newton big time.
Yeah, Cam finally, not finally, but really showed up last week, and of course he picks the 49ers to do that, kind of an easy target there. And then D'Angelo Williams has been an absolute beast, filling in for Le'Veon Bell just like he did last year. So
Jesus, 32 and 20 are his points the last 2 weeks
for D'Angelo.
Yeah, so
I mean,
he had
monster.
143 on the ground and 2 touchdowns the first week. 6 receptions and 28 yards. Add that to it. Wow, I can't believe that. Well, I can believe it, but and this last week was 94 on the ground and 4 receptions for 38 and a touchdown. I mean, oof.
He's getting work from all different places. The workload for that guy is unreal. So, Chris, I'm sure you are just counting the weeks until Le'Veon comes back and can reap the benefits of that.
Yeah, I can't wait, man, especially with AP going down. But hopefully this week we can just piece something together and get right back on the horse.
I have to say, big surprise for me, obviously for me, because I had him, I don't know, last year or 2 years ago, and he was fucking awful. But C.J. Anderson has been doing really good for you. I mean, last week he still had 74 on the ground and a touchdown. That got you 15 points. Delaney Walker's looking really,
Yeah.
really good.
I had Delaney last year. I really enjoyed having him in as tight end, so not surprised to see him, be a heavy presence this year
Not
too.
only that, your little flyer with Sterling Shepard worked out in your favor. 11.5, 16 the next game.
That's a good pickup or a good draft pick right there.
Yeah.
I mean, Eli, he's not the most consistent guy, but I mean, he chucks it down the field.
Yeah,
so.
they throw a lot. They don't have a big run game there, so he's got to chuck the ball around.
Yeah, but you just definitely had some tough games. Yeah, Sammy Watkins was missing for half the game. I don't remember seeing him. Adrian Peterson goes down, only gets you 2 points. Andrew Luck against Denver, dude. Denver's defense still looks pretty fucking nasty, and Andrew Luck had a hard time.
Yeah, that was pretty rough.
I mean, you'll have better days with him, obviously. I mean, he put up 43 points the first week, and looking at his schedule, like he's got the Chargers, Jacksonville, Chicago the next couple weeks. Like I think Lucky Boy is going to be getting you some pretty good points.
Yeah, that was his toughest matchup so far, I think, for at least until his bye. I mean, he does have Houston, and Tennessee's defense is a little surprising, but yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Well, you've got a nice surprising little potential star on Will Fuller in your bench. That guy's been doing some pretty nasty things in Houston. What are your thoughts on him? Are you gonna keep him on the bench for a bit, or you maybe throwing him in the lineup this week?
Yeah. He's next man up. We got to get him in there. I can't have 5 points out of my receivers, so I'm kind of shaking things up this week. Gonna put Will Fuller in there, maybe get some Tyrell action. Let's see.
Yeah, you got some juicy receivers some young guns that are little speedsters.
Yep. But I mean, Corey Coleman's out now. I mean, he had a broken hand, but whatever. Practice.
What a game too.
Yeah,
2 touchdowns. Yeah, no, that's. I don't know, man. I think the better days are ahead for you. But actually, what I was just noticing is you have Spencer Ware.
Yes, I do.
And Misha has D'Angelo Williams.
Yes.
You know who's on your bench is Le'Veon Bell, obviously. You know who's on Misha's bench?
Yeah,
That's
the
pretty funny.
huh?
Yeah, you guys switched up with the handcuffs there. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, you guys.
So just throwing it out there. If you want to trade it up, Mish, for some handcuffs, we can do that.
A little handcuff trade. That would be funny.
That would actually be kind of interesting.
If you guys did a 1-for-1 straight up handcuff trade, I would call you guys the biggest pussies. Like you're basically just like kissing each other at that point.
Misha started Jimmy Graham. Man, tight ends are.
Yeah, tight end's been tough this year, but my God, Stephon Diggs, what a massive game, and I mean he's been looking good this year.
Yeah, the coming out party for Diggs. I think he's going to start seeing a lot of Bradford action.
Yeah, well, Diggs, I picked up Diggs at some point last year, and he had a good string of like 3 games in a row, and it looked like, oh boy, here comes this guy, and I actually sold him high. I remember I did a trade with Nick. I forget who I got for it, but it was somebody pretty good, and then all of a sudden Diggs completely dropped off once Nick got him, but not super surprised to see Diggs back up there. Like the guy is definitely super talented and just destroyed last week.
I would say kind of a surprise for me actually is Mike Wallace. Jesus, like he is just getting touchdowns. He has 3 touchdowns in 2 games.
So crazy, yeah, the old man.
Well, I guess you give him, put him in that AFC North, and he just does work. I don't know.
Yeah.
But,
props to Misha. The biggest week I think anyone's had so far this season. See if he can keep it up. But Chris and you guys are actually matching up this week. Chris and Brian. That's going to be pretty interesting. Are you guys going to get together for this weekend?
I'm waiting to hear from Chris, but I think we're going to try to get together at least either tomorrow or maybe Sunday. Maybe go out for breakfast or something like that and watch the game somewhere. I don't know.
Give him plenty of double IPAs so I can cheer on my team.
Yeah, double or triple IPAs for breakfast.
Oh, good God. Well, I know exactly where I'm going the second I get a few of those.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. And Brian, your team definitely put up a better week this last week than week one. So got some of your guys kind of got back on track, I would say. Like, well, you put in Fitzpatrick this week, which, you know, ended up being a pretty decent call. But Eric Decker doing his little man syndrome thing, just putting up some big points there.
I was actually worried when I drafted Decker. I was like, you know, he is this little touchdown thief, touchdown monster. Like, it seems like he's always getting double-digit touchdowns, like, every single year, and I just don't get how he's doing it, but he's doing it.
Like, the end zone guy, yeah.
But he's injured also, so I don't know if he's going to be. I think he's going to be starting, but he's got some sort of a shoulder injury, so we'll see what happens with that.
They're saying they'd be surprised if he didn't play, so you're probably all right there.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm rolling a couple dice this week. I picked up Matt Ryan, so we'll see. I'm going to start him and see how that goes.
I think he's going to have solid.
And I think he's going to have a nice little shootout.
At New Orleans, that should probably be a high-scoring affair because you know Breeze is going to be slicing and dicing.
That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping Lamar Miller and Zeke the Weed Sneak, as John says.
Yep.
I'm hoping he's still going to be doing okay. I don't know about T.Y. Hilton. I guess in this particular matchup, it's good. Like, if he does well.
He's going to be visiting Verret Island.
That's right.
I heard that that Verret might not actually be covering Ty just because of the slot position that Verret would be actually covering. So I don't know. I wouldn't be too surprised if Ty actually does have a good game.
And we actually just lost our starting safety, Jaleel Adai, because he's a fucking nutcase and he always throws his body at players, and I think he's concussed or something like that. He's definitely out for a while. So I don't know. T.Y. Hilton could have a big game, but if that's the case, that means Andrew Luck could also have a pretty big game. So I'm not sure.
We got it's going to be interesting because Chris, you picked up Dorsett on Indianapolis too, so it's going to be a battle of who's going to take the big game from Andrew Luck.
Yeah,
that's true.
We got a lot of cross team going on here.
Yeah, you got Will Fuller.
Yeah, Wolf Fuller, got some Philip Dorsett, Tyrell, Pats, D.
Oh, the Pats. Yeah, I'm going to be rooting for those Edelman or possibly LeGarrette Blount. I don't know. We'll see. Houston, I don't know if I like run game against Houston's defense, but I could be wrong about that. It is Bill Belichick. He always figures something out. But I don't know. It's going to be a really, really close game. I'm just not sure I'm not really sure how to call it.
Well, I'll take my first. This will be the first pick'em for the week, which we got to start keeping track of these things so we can, throw them back at each other and know who's the better person in life in general. So.
Well, I know all you guys picked against me.
That's true. I was thinking
Nick,
about last week. I think every pick was wrong. I think last week,
for the most part.
Yeah.
Well, no. We picked Nick to win, didn't we?
I think we did actually. Okay, we got one.
And he did. He did. He barely won, and I got me because that's right. I had faith, even though I'm if we're talking about Major League, I'm one of the guys up in the stands. The small group of fans that are there every year that are talking about he hit the ball too high. What are you talking about too high? Who gives a shit? It's gone.
I want to do a side bet, and I wish Chris and I could just take this offline for a second. So Brian, you wouldn't know this bet's happening, but I want to bet that Major League gets brought up at least once every single podcast by you this year.
It's my theme this year.
I know it is.
Sounds like a board bet to me.
That would be a board bet, but now I've skewed the results by letting Brian know.
That's true. Yeah, well, you would have been right anyway.
Well, so I going through the matchup. I think this one's going to be pretty close, and I love the cross matchups that we have going. It's going to be a fun one if you guys are together at all watching some of these games. But I do like Andrew Luck quite a bit, even though I do think Matt Ryan could have a big game. Spencer Ware is one I'm a little worried about, just because Jamal Charles, they're saying he could come back and play. So I think, Brian, you've got the edge on the running back side. I think I may have to give the edge to you, Brian, on this one, just going through the team. But you've got more familiar players, I guess, is making me feel more comfortable.
Well, I'll say Will Fuller, I'm pretty sure that's
he could be big.
He could continue stealing, because Lamar Miller has no touchdowns. He's got 14 points and 10 points on the season so far, but nothing on the ground. So I could use some touchdowns there. So. And Philip Dorsett, he did pretty good that first game, 4 receptions for 94 yards. Last game he was pretty quiet, but of course Indy was having quite some time last week. And Terrell Williams, I'm gonna have to. How can I root against my own fucking team? But I don't know. What do you think, Chris? You go ahead and pick. I want to hear what you have to say.
Well, I mean, the one thing I think the Thursday game is going to be kind of big.
True.
With Fuller and Lamar Miller and Edelman. I mean, we're going to have a Smoky Brisket coming in, and Edelman's probably going to be getting a lot of short yardage passes and stuff. But I don't know. I'm not ruling out Golden Tate on my team. I've been watching his targets. I mean, the point totals haven't been there yet, but he's been getting a lot of targets. So hopefully he can come through against Green Bay. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. It's a toss-up. I mean, it's going to be a close one, I think.
So, who are you picking?
I mean,
well, of course, I'm picking me.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't think you can really do pick'ems in your own matchup. I mean,
yeah.
Well, no, I mean, unless of course you're just going up again. Unless of course you have a team of bums and you're just like, I don't fucking know.
Nobody has that at least yet.
At least yet, but with these injuries, who the fuck knows, man? Jesus Christ, we could all be having bums by the end of the year. We could all be starting fucking third string running backs and, God, at this point in time, third or fourth string quarterbacks. Who the fuck knows? Jesus, the Pats are down to their third string quarterback. That's insane. Yeah.
And they'll get to upgrade back to their first string pretty soon.
Everybody's getting the upgrade to the first string. And I'm very, very happy that I don't have to play, either Adrian Peterson or Le'Veon Bell, which is, that's huge. So I'm going to actually have to give myself a slight edge. I'm not going to say it's a big one. I'm going to pick me, but it's just slightly. But I would say those two factors are pretty big. I'm not facing Chris's full force. Not yet, anyway. I think Chris and I will play later in the year, and I might end up eating my words then. But I don't know. We'll see.
All right, so we got 2 votes for Brian's team, 1 vote for Chris's team. So we shall see how it plays out. I've got them written down. So, we should keep it on moving and get to 2 other teams that didn't really get talked about last week.
Wait a minute. Who is Misha playing this week?
Who is Misha playing this week?
He's playing Joey, who's another person we didn't really.
All right. Well, I think that'll be a good segue. So let's reel it back to last week and let's talk about Joey and Derek, because we didn't talk about either of them really at all. Nope. So, I would say this was a bit of a lightweight matchup last week. Obviously, a lot of injuries affected these 2 guys, and I was talking to Joey a little bit over the weekend, as he likes to text a lot of stuff. And he was just saying how he feels super lucky to kind of eke out the win against Derek there. Because, God, if you look at Joey's team and the scores there, his saving grace was Phillip Rivers.
Phillip fucking destroyed Jacksonville.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else watched that game, but Jesus Christ, he was just.
He looked good. He looked really good.
Yeah, and
4
especially
TDs.
without
Wow.
Keenan. Yeah, 4 TDs without Keenan Allen. Like throwing to guys like Terrell Williams and Travis Benjamin. I don't know. I think John might have had him sitting on the back. I can't remember who has Travis Benjamin, but he had a fucking awesome game. Yeah, Philip really came through. David Johnson is still doing pretty well. You know, he had 20 points the first game, 14 this time around. Did he get a touchdown in the air? No, he had. Oh man, 3 catches for 98 yards.
Yeah,
Almost
that's
100.
a huge part of his value is that receiving game that he has. Obviously, that's pretty skewed. 93 yards. He had a huge catch and run, but he has not quite gotten on track, at least to the running strength that I think most people expected him to get to. But he's played 2 actually pretty good defenses. Tampa Bay actually has a pretty decent run defense. So I'm still a believer in David Johnson. I think some big games are ahead for that guy. So Joey should be feeling good about having him.
Yeah, I would say so. And looking at Derek's team, I think, Derek just got kind of unlucky this week. I mean, obviously, Jonathan Stewart going down, that really fucking, that really sucks. Antonio Brown had a really quiet game.
Super pedestrian.
Yeah, just I didn't end up seeing the game, so I didn't. I wasn't sure what the cause was exactly. If he just wasn't getting targeted. I mean,
no, he was targeted 11 times.
Oh Jesus!
So I don't know. He only got 4 receptions. Just not a big game at all.
I think it was raining.
Was it
Might have been
raining?
raining.
Yeah.
It might have been.
Oh, wow. Jesus. Greg Olson had a pretty fucking awesome game. 122 and a touchdown.
Yeah, he's had a good year so far. I mean, he's usually been super strong with Cammy Newton thrown to him.
No kidding. And, funny enough, Derek's getting some productivity out of a lot of interesting places like Ryan Matthews. Ryan Matthews has 3 touchdowns on the year so far.
Yeah, not expected that he would be.
Where was that in San Diego?
Well, dude, no. That's San Diego's cursed, I'm telling you.
I think so, too.
Yeah, here's another interesting one. On Derek's bench, he has Isaiah Crowell. And Crowell, so far in the last 2 weeks, has 14 points and 21 points.
Yeah, he's been a monster.
That's pretty good. That's pretty decent. But Aaron Rodgers has just been, I would say, he had a disappointing game. That was a really tough game against Minnesota. Minnesota, I don't know. They looked like they were on fire playing on their new stadium.
They have a good defense for sure.
That's true. They do. And Sam Bradford, like who would have known that he would have done as well as he did coming on in. But
for Derek, I mean, Mark Ingram's been a bit of a surprise. I actually was really hoping to get Mark Ingram in all my drafts this year, and I guess so far, thankfully, I didn't. But his production has been so low. Like the most he's had is 12 rushes and then 9 rushes. Like that's pretty surprising, and especially in PPR too. He's a good PPR running back. So I don't know. I'm maybe a little concerned about that.
Well, I would say this is what I would say should concern you, Sean, is the fact that I would say one of the reasons he's doing so bad is the Saints are 0-2. The Saints are not looking all that great. I know Drew Brees did well for you that very first
game,
week, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, and they lost that game right at the very end by the Raiders going for it on 4th down and converting to win the game. But Saints have had a couple tough losses there. But they're going back home next week to their comfy confines of New Orleans, so hopefully it should be another high-scoring affair.
Yeah, that's true. And then they got SD coming on up after that, and then Drew's on his bye, an early bye. So that's actually kind of nice to get that out of the way early in the season.
Go fucking smoke some weed with this little kid, and I don't know.
That's exactly what he should be doing. All right, so getting back to Joey and Derek, that was a tough go for Derek, I think. But I mean, looking at even though he has had 2 troublesome running backs, I would say he could always plug in, these other two guys, just plug in
Crowell.
Ryan Matthews, plug in Crowell.
Yeah, he's got options.
And I'm not worried about his wide receivers either. I mean, he's got fucking, goddamn it, Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
Antonio Brown's going to have better days ahead.
Oh,
His
yeah.
very first game was, 29 points. So, yeah, this is an unlucky go for Derek, and I'm actually kind of curious. So what is next week looking like for both of these guys?
Well, Joey and Misha are playing next week, so we could do a quick little preview about their matchup here. So,
All right, getting back to Misha, if that's true. Okay, so we've got Cam Newton going up against Phillip Rivers. They're both actually projected around the same. Cam's going up against Minnesota. Phillip is going up against Indy. Even though they are saying that they're going to give the nod to Cam Newton, I'm actually going to give the nod to Phillip Rivers. Not because he's on the Chargers, but I'll tell you why. Indy's defense looks fucking horrible.
Yeah, true.
Their secondary just looks completely decimated. I think Phillip Rivers is going to have a field day. I mean, I know it's going to be at Indy, but even still, I actually think, I don't know, I'm just going to go ahead and make a prediction. I think Phillip Rivers will end up scoring more points than Cam. You've got David Johnson and Jeremy Langford. I like David Johnson better. I don't know. What do you guys think? Right now, actually looking at this, I don't know. It's like I feel Joey has got Misha in a lot of positions. I mean, I don't know.
Misha put up a monster last week. Obviously, like I think his team played out of their minds. Like you look at a guy like Stephon Diggs, who had basically 30 points last week, and he's going up against Carolina this weekend. So I don't think he would have that big of a week either, or that big of a week compared to last week. So that might come down a bit. But I mean, a lot of his other matchups are not looking too bad. So I could still see Misha having a pretty big week here. Joey got hit with the injury bug pretty hard too. Brandon Marshall got dinged up. But I don't know. I don't know if he's supposed to play this week or what. So that might be one to take a closer look at.
Yeah, I think so. But right now, I don't know. I mean, I guess anything could happen. But right now, just for some reason, I feel like Joey's team is poised for a big week. So I'm going to go ahead and give the vote to Joey this time around.
I like it. That I'm going to think that Misha's team will carry some momentum and keep things going pretty strong. So I'm going to take Misha's team on this one.
I mean, I can't. It's hard to argue with him. I mean, Mike Wallace has been doing awesome. I know Allen Robinson is not on Verret Island, as Chris said earlier. Or what did you say?
Verret Island.
Verret.
Yeah, Verret Island. Isn't that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got it right.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know. I think it's going to be close. But what do you think, Chris?
Well, I mean, looking at it, I kind of do agree. But, I mean, then again, it is Cam Newton. And if there's anybody that can do it, I think he can break through Minnesota. But I do agree that Indy's secondary is pretty shoddy. So I think it's kind of a wash right there. But I think D'Angelo is going to keep the train going. Allen Robinson hasn't really showed up like how he did last year yet. So, I mean, he's kind of poised for a big one. But I don't know, that tight end position for Misha. I mean, he has my boy Gronk on the bench nursing a hammy. So, I don't know. I know you're waiting for Gronk to come back. But
you know how we were talking about how the fantasy gods didn't want you to have Le'Veon and Adrian Peterson on the same team. How is it possible? Like, isn't it just weird that Jimmy actually this year has both Jimmy Graham and Rob Gronkowski on the same team?
I know, right?
Yeah, a couple years ago that would have been fucking insane.
Impossible.
Yeah.
But that's the way it is. All right.
Anyway,
so,
I don't know. I think I might have to go with Misha on this one.
All right.
Wow, 2 votes.
There it is.
Two votes for Misha, 1 for Joey. We'll see how this plays out. All right. Who else were we just talking about? Derek. So who is Derek playing this time around? Oh, he's playing Nicholas.
All right. All right.
The Lurchel.
Yeah,
Lurchel.
let's take a look at that matchup there.
Let's see.
Yeah, Nick had a nice bounce back week. Some of his guys kind of got back on track, and he got his first win of the week there.
God, that freaking logo icon. Terrible.
Nick actually just eked it out though against Jimmy. That was the closest game of the week for sure, separated just by 3.5 points.
I know he needed what was it? Jimmy had the kicker going, and he just needed field goals. Mason Crosby, right? He had Mason Crosby. He just needed Green Bay to do something, and they couldn't do anything.
Yeah, that sucks. Oh man.
God. Oh man.
That's
all right.
Funny. So Nick. Nick's got he's got Kelvin Benjamin, who has been looking real good this year so far. I expect that to continue on for sure. And he's got fucking Odell, as well as Mike Evans, who's been having a good year too. So Nick's
stacked at wide receiver.
Yeah, he's really stacked at wide receiver, and he's got Jarvis Landry in his
and
flex
Mike
too.
Evans.
Yeah,
Jeez.
I know, very stacked at receiver. But Nick just lost Arian Foster, so right now he's got TJ Yeldon from Jacksonville filling in. So that could be a bit of a weak spot there.
Yeah, because Chris Ivory is out. Dude, I don't know.
Looking at it, I mean,
it's kind of weak on. He's like kind of a little bit weak on running backs. I mean, LaShawn McCoy's been doing as well as like Lamar Miller has. 14 points the first game, 10 points the second. I mean, I don't know. I think this is going to be another kind of close one. I'm not really sure which way.
Matt Stafford at Green Bay. That's going to be. I think that's going to be Nick's weakest point right there. Is Matt Stafford. I was listening to something on ESPN earlier saying that Matt Stafford has like a terrible track record at Lambeau Field. So if that trend continues, that's going to be problematic because you got on the flip side, you got Derek with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
So that'll be an interesting game for them. Yeah.
I feel is like if anybody he's a comeback type of player who like can bounce back from a really bad game, like and be like silence his critics really quickly. I feel it's Aaron Rodgers. So I feel like he could have a pretty big game. I think Isaiah Crowell going up against Miami, that will probably kind of carry on through.
Yeah.
Antonio Brown, I feel it just can't be kept down forever. Greg Olsen has been looking really really good. So I don't know. I'm gonna actually give it's just looking at Nick's wideouts. He is so stacked on his wideouts. But
Nick also has Ravens D playing against Jacksonville. So if Yeldon has any kind of big game or gets some touchdowns, that's eating right out of his defensive points right there too.
And he loves himself at Jacksonville this year.
Huge Jacksonville fan.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna give the nod to Derek for this go around.
I think I'm gonna have to do the same. Really, I think that Green Bay Detroit game is going to be the big difference maker for these guys, and I just have a feeling Rodgers is finally going to put up some big points, and I think Stafford might have a bit of a crap game.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you're right. What do you think, Chris?
Well, I don't know. I'm looking at Nick's wideouts, and I think it's time. It's time for Odell to get some revenge on some Josh Norman from last year. From what you guys saw, I'm pretty sure everybody saw that game last year where there's a lot of fighting and stuff between those two. No love lost between those guys. Now they get to play each other twice a year. So I don't know. I think Beckham's going to have a big game. Evans, I mean, he's a stud in the red zone. It's tough, but yeah, I'm going to pick Nick.
All right.
I think those wideouts are going to come through for him this week.
So that's not a friendship pick. That's a legitimate statistically
I mean, he's got
based.
Kelvin Benjamin. Yeah, he's got Kelvin Benjamin, Odell, Mike Evans, Jarvis Landry, and I mean Julius Thomas has been a stud so far. And I mean, if he even squeaks out, 19 points or 15 points out of Stafford, but it has big games with his wideouts. I mean, the potential's there. I don't know.
Agreed.
Potential is there. All right.
Okay. So we've got a bit of
books.
a split there, but yeah, I've got it on the books. So let's see. We've got just a couple other matchups. I'd love to talk about my matchup last week with John Glasgow. We haven't talked about either of those teams yet, so could be a good segue there.
Well, even though Misha did get the highest score, John was second.
They were both fighting for that last spot because they both had people playing in the Monday night game, so it could have gone either way. But
sure,
yeah.
I like how we're talking about John with the second highest score now, and we refused to talk about Chris last week with the second highest score.
That's okay. Sorry,
you got the second lowest score this week, and we'll definitely point that out to everybody. But
I made my
talk about it when you have.
I let everybody know, Chris, earlier on that Chris had a huge game the first week. We didn't forget.
Yeah, right. Thank you, Derek, by the way, for scoring less points than me this last week.
Yeah, that's right.
I was really pumped about that.
Edged you out a little bit. Okay, so back into your matchup, which was it was a fight.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you had already put up, because Matt Forte was
30
ridiculous
fucking points going 30 to zip
night.
Going into Sunday. So I mean, I was feeling pretty good, at least at that point. But things quickly just didn't really go the way I wanted them to. Drew Brees, kind of was a big difference maker there, only putting 16 up after his 41 the week before.
It was such a shit game.
That was and everybody was
predicted that.
Yeah, everybody was predicting like, oh, shootout. There's going to be touchdowns all over the place. Did not.
Yeah, last year they had the same matchup, and there was like 11 touchdowns between the two of them. I mean,
yeah, I don't know what the hell happened there. I didn't really get to watch it. I was gone. I didn't get to see any games on Sunday really, but yeah. Didn't look good.
No, but I mean, you had production out of your wide receiver little trio. Fucking DeAndre did fucking awesome, 21. Jordy 15. Even though that was a kind of a shitty game from Green Bay, he still got you some points. Demarius got you points.
Yeah.
Dude, just Drew Brees let you down, and funny enough, John's backs totally let him down.
Besides shit the bed, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, besides Latavius Murray, who actually, besides the exact opposite of shit in the bed, fucking rocked the bed, 18 points. And his wideouts did spectacular. Julio Jones being himself, Larry Fitzgerald, the old fucking man. Like, dude, look at his cart. Look at
that was
all
pissing me off seeing those updates on my phone. It's like, God damn it, the old man Fitz is just fucking me right now.
His name's Larry. I mean, come on, you can't be that tough.
Larry's sticking it to ya.
But I was giving John some shit via text message because this was before Derek Carr had put up his 30, and I was saying, you son of a bitch, if your defense and kicker are two of your highest scoring for this week, I'm going to be so fucking pissed. And he got 41 points between his defense and kicker. That definitely was not helpful for me. I'm
looking at that right now. So his defense, they only allowed 7 points. They got 4 picks, a fumble recovery, and a touchdown.
Just an insane 4 fucking picks, a fumble,
and a TD.
Yeah, talk about
top and bottom, from week to week with Jameis Winston. He has an outstanding week 1, throws 4 picks week 2. I mean,
huge swing.
Yeah, I don't know. That was and Derek Carr fucking played his balls off, but did not come away with the. Did not come away with the win there in Atlanta, was it in Atlanta or was that? No, that was at Oakland.
Oakland.
They were playing on the that's right. They were playing on the fucking dirt field.
Yep, playing shootout.
Did you guys see that Instagram video? That Raider fan that was like shit faced and like basically was begging to get knocked out by some big tall burly man. Did you guys see that?
No, I didn't.
No.
Oh man, this guy, he was probably about 5'8", and this other guy was like 6'5", and the little 5'8" guy knocked off the glasses like of the big tall dude, and he just like knocked him the hell out, and the guy just laid there in the in the aisleway.
Jesus, what the
Oh
hell?
my god.
I mean,
Yeah, it was pandemonium in Oakland. You know, I
as
got a
it
couple leaders.
usually is.
Yeah, you know, and when you lose like that at home, there's going to be some vengeance going
Yeah,
on,
Raiders
man.
fans are pretty heated. I mean, being up in the Bay this year, like I am seeing so many Raiders jerseys. I mean, you usually do, but they're just extra vocal this year now that their team, has some good pieces to it, and they thinking they're going to make the playoffs. It's getting heated. So
good
I'll
old
give
Raiders.
got to give it up to John for duking it out. It was a high scoring affair, but he came out ahead. So I mean, for my team, I'm not super worried, especially just given the massive amount of injuries that have been happening. So to not have to deal with any of that yet, so at least for now, I still have a pretty much healthy team, and yeah, get to go up against Phil this week, who. Brian, you finally beat your kryptonite against Phil there and finally got that win.
Just barely. I have to thank Michael Crabtree. Speaking of the Raiders, I have to thank Michael Crabtree for that late game touchdown. That fucking saved my entire night, or my entire day. So that was amazing. So yeah, I got lucky. I was the only person that picked me, and I believed in myself. It came through. But yeah, so let's actually take a look at your guys' matchup. So this is going to be interesting. So he's got Carson Palmer going against Buffalo, which I think probably should be very good for Carson Palmer. But
Yeah,
you've also got
good.
Drew Brees in the Atlanta shootout.
Yeah, in New Orleans. So I am definitely putting the bar back up well above 16 where he was last week. So I think, yeah, both of our quarterbacks, maybe doing some carrying for our team here. So that'll be interesting. And I mean, I think our weak spots in this matchup are on the running back side. I mean, Phil's got Todd Gurley, who, would have thought would have been the man. But even like the last couple games of last season and the first two of this has really been pretty worrisome. So he's been getting the work too. I mean, 17, 19 attempts and just super terrible, yards per carry. So and then Devontae Freeman's got the timeshare going with Tevin Coleman right now. So he's not been too great. And then on the flip side, like I've got fucking Carlos Hyde going up against Seattle, which I'm definitely very worried about.
Yeah, he had a rough game last week.
Yeah.
Well, so I don't know. But you are very strong on your wideouts, Demarius, DeAndre, Jordy. Ooh, you're rolling with Barnikowski this week. Interesting.
I mean, that's who I have. I don't really have much of a choice. Tight end's been pretty depleted, just not very strong position, so I'm not about to go hit the waivers for a tight end. But, yeah, they've got I don't even remember what the guy's name is, but they've got their third string going in Cleveland, so I don't know what that's going to mean for the barn dog.
Oh no, I don't either. But Phil does have some pretty strong parts of his team, like Jordan Reed.
Yeah, his tight end is going to probably crush me.
Yeah, Melvin Gordon has been surprising this year. 17. He has 3 touchdowns in 2 games.
Yeah,
That's 3 more than last year.
That is 3 more than last year.
What a turnaround! It seems like San Diego has put the trust in him to give him those goal line carries, which they would not give him last year, and especially now that Woodhead is out. I mean, I saw they just picked up Dexter McCluster, so we'll see if he gets some work too. But it's like Melvin Gordon's the real deal now.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, they're projecting it to be close. Yeah, I just those wideouts of yours just make it really, and especially Matt Forte playing as well as he has been.
Yeah, KC has not been a great run defense, so I would expect him to have a decent day.
With those wideouts, Matt Forte playing well, Drew Brees in a shootout.
Sounds like you're taking me.
I think I'm gonna lean your way.
Just say it.
All right, I'm picking Sean against Phil for this week. That is my
all right.
Pick
It's locked in. What do you think, Chris?
Well, looking at Phil's team here, looks like, I mean, Brandon Cooks and Drew Brees right there. I mean, anything that Drew Brees throws to Brandon Cooks is
Yeah.
going to be kind of, it's
Always
going to be a little rough.
a bummer there for me. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think Melvin Gordon's going to have a pretty big game. Todd Gurley, I mean, he's got to come back, you know? Like, I mean, he's just got to have a good
against
game.
Tampa. I mean,
Yeah.
Tampa's not that great right now. So
They're not that great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's got to be now or never. Devontae Freeman, I mean, he's got to do something. He got
Against
like
New
90
Orleans,
yards last year.
I mean, that would be the time to go off.
I'm hoping Travis Benjamin ends up continuing his hot streak for me as a Charger fan, but yeah, I think it's going to be a tough go. So what are you saying, Chris? Are you picking who are you picking?
We should just sweep it. I'm going with Sean. Those wideouts are too deadly.
All right. Well, I mean, that's definitely the way that I drafted my team, was incredibly wideout heavy. So, yeah, keep those guys running strong. So, all right, that is a wrap there.
All right.
So, we've got one more matchup to kind of preview and cover here.
Is that John and Jimmy's?
That is it.
Well, wait. Do we do our pick'ems for? So who have we picked so far? We picked.
No, we've done. I'm writing down all our pick'ems, so we've got them all up to speed.
All right. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna have to do a quick review before this is all over. Okay. So, John and Jimmy. This is. I don't know. I think this is going to be another close one, but this is going to be the big battle of like the major wideouts. I mean, look at this.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jimmy's got Amari Cooper, AJ Green, Dez Bryant, and Allen Hurns. John's got Julio Jones, Alshon Jeffrey, Larry Fitz. Like, it doesn't look like he's actually rolling with anybody else. Like, I would have thought that he might have. Who else does he have on his bench?
He's got Willie Snead.
Yeah, that's
Marvin
somebody
Jones,
else.
Yeah.
Willie Snead. I can't believe this.
Snead's been really good this year.
28, 13. Yeah, he's had some pretty good going.
But when you got Alshon, Julio, and Fitz, it's a little tough to roll with all those guys.
I don't know, because Derek Carr could have a pretty big game. He's going up against Tennessee, so
yeah, Derek Carr's been solid.
That could be something. I don't know. This is gonna be really, really close, actually.
I mean, Jimmy's rolling with Allen Hurns, who he was touchdown dependent last year and hasn't put up a touchdown this year yet. So maybe he gets on.
Horrible.
Not doing horrible. Not doing really good either. And
I mean, four for 75 for 9 points, 5 for 64 for 8.5.
So
like,
if he does get in the end zone, then he's good.
Then yeah. So I mean, but going up against Larry Fitz, like Larry Fitz has just been so dominant recently. Dez, I'm not sure. He did well last game. He had like over 100 last game.
Chicago's looking pretty shitty too, so they could throw it around on Chicago's D for sure.
Yeah,
if Carson Wentz was tossing it around on Monday night, I feel like, Dallas can throw it around as well.
That's true, and I don't know if Jay Cutler even going to play?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, wow. So who knows? All right, well, then, I don't know. I feel like this is a toss-up. I'm going to do a coin toss. I'm going to... Sorry, John, I love you. I know I just saw you recently. I think your hot streak of 2-0 is coming to an end this weekend. I think Jimmy.
Sorry, wait. All I heard is "I love you, John. I think you're hot." That's all I heard out of that whole statement.
Yeah, I think that's what I heard too.
Oh my God, you guys are fucking just horrible. Make sure, Chris, if you're making cuts and clips of any of this, you just take that one out. John, I think you're.
It's going in the favorite folder.
That's the favorite folder. Yeah, Papa John, that hot man. I think that hot streak of yours is it is now over, and I'm going to pick Jimmy to win this one around. Ben Roethlisberger in Philly, I feel he's going to be tossing it all over the place. DeMarco Murray has been really surprising, and he's going up against Oakland, and Jesus, and you know how everybody's talking about Frank Gore, like waiting for him to like come out and play. Well, San Diego cannot fucking stop the run to save anybody's life. So this is the time when Frank Gore is going to have a big game. So I don't know. I'm picking Jimmy for this time around.
Okay. Yeah, I think this one will end up being pretty close too. And at first, I was thinking, oh man, I gotta go with John. Like he put up huge points last week, but I mean, Derek Carr's got to go on the road in Tennessee, which they have a pretty decent defense there. And right now, he's running with Charles Sims as his one of his running backs, and against the Rams, who have not been letting up many points at all. Eddie Lacy hasn't been great either. Man, and Alshon, I think he'll be fine, even though he has some second string quarterback throwing to him. But yeah, I think
Brian Hoyer.
Oh yeah, Brian Hoyer. Man, that's right. I totally forgot about that guy. I mean, that's yeah, Brian Hoyer. He's not terrible. He did pretty decently in Houston last year. I just think with I think Jimmy's got the running back advantage, and goddamn, some of those receivers. I mean, he's got Amari, so if Derek Carr is throwing some touchdowns, those points could be going Jimmy's way.
That's a really good point.
And yeah, Broncos D. Yeah, I'm gonna have to give the swing to Jimmy on this one.
Chris?
Jeez, I guess we're going to have to sweep it because, I mean, looking at his wideouts and Big Ben, he let me down last year, but, I mean, he's been rolling as of late a little bit. And Jacob Tamme, I mean, he had a pretty big game last week.
Yeah,
so.
that was the one thing. I was considering using I had the number 1 waiver wire pick, and I was considering using it for Jacob Tamme. I didn't, but somebody picked him up. So that's a good pickup by Jimmy. So that'll be see how that plays out. So what do you think? So we're gonna sweep it. We're gonna say Jimmy.
Yeah, sorry, Johnny boy. Yeah,
right.
Go with Jimmy.
Sweeping it. Okay. Well,
we do love you, Johnny boy, but just not this time around.
You hot man.
Yep.
So now both of you think he's hot. Got it.
Fuck, it's contagious now.
Chris, I'm waiting for it to happen. It's going to come out. Just go ahead, admit it. John is he's a hot man.
Well, who are we kidding? You think anyone's gonna last an hour and 7 minutes into this podcast recording? I think we can say whatever we want, and no one's
the only person that will actually is John. He's going to listen to the entire thing, and he's going to tell us how fucking wonderful it is. Like, you guys don't understand. This is like such an excellent product you guys are putting together. Yeah. So sweep it for Jimmy. So what are the picks that we did?
All right, I can run through those real quick, and we'll definitely revisit these next week to see how it worked. So in the Misha-Joey matchup, we've got 2 for Misha, and Brian, you've got Joey.
Okay.
And we've got the Chris and Brian, your guys' matchup. Obviously, you guys picked yourselves, and I was the swing vote and went Brian's way. We've got the Nick and Derek matchup. Chris was the lone wolf that chose Nick, not because they're friends, but because he thinks Nick has a better team this week. And then myself versus Derek, we swept it for my side because of the wideouts that I have. And the Jimmy Glasgow, we swept it with Jimmy because of the wideouts that he has too. So that's where it stands.
That just envious of everybody's wide receivers. That's what it is.
Yeah,
everybody loves the wideouts this year.
I definitely did not get that kind of love. I feel I got a little bit lucky with Decker, but no, I'm desperate. I want that. I want that same kind of love. I want to stop doing the these fucking guys, and I want to have a team that I can.
You want to be these fucking guys.
I want to be like, hey, you know what? These guys ain't so fucking bad. You know, that's where I want to get eventually.
Well, it'll be interesting because I think, we're only 2 weeks in, so, I mean, not shocking there hasn't been any trades going on so far, but I think all the injuries have kind of made people a little shaky and a little paralyzed to make any big moves because a lot of people are just scrambling just to kind of keep their rosters filled at this point.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be interesting. I'm kind of curious to see if there are going to be any more waiver not transactions, but any more waiver pickups. So there's things to keep our eye on, but we got a big game this Thursday. What, tomorrow? No, wait a minute. What day is it today? I don't even know
tomorrow
what
we've
fucking
got New England and Houston, so a lot of fantasy implications will be going on for a few people's matchups there. So it'll be a good kickoff to the week.
All right. Well, yeah, and I guess we're sorry for this taking so fucking long, but it's
Not
just
too bad.
fun to. It's just fun to talk about, man. I wish we could have everybody on. I really want to thank Chris for being here and sticking with us the whole time, trying to get through everybody.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me on here. Hopefully, keep doing these great discussions about our fantasy.
Great discussions. And man, stoked to hear some of the music you've been working on and some of the other tricks you've got up your sleeve that we can incorporate in here too. Definitely excited about that.
Sweet, yeah, me too.
All right. Well,
you know what?
Oh, you gonna say something, Brian?
I was going to say something. I'm going to make sure that Chris is not drinking double IPAs, but I'm going to make sure that he's drinking fucking. What is that pink shit, Chris?
Shit.
What is the pink shit? You know what I'm talking about.
The rock stars, the monsters.
The monsters, whatever those.
Oh,
the
you
vodka.
Go Girl energy drinks.
Yeah, the
Yes,
Go Girl.
my
Yeah,
Go Girl energy drinks. I love
I
those
want
with
you
my
to.
sugar-free Go Girl.
Yeah, I want you to have 3 or 4 Go Girl energy drinks. We need you to get into that party boy mode, the Darth Stage mode. That's what we need.
Nice, Darth Stage.
All right. Anyway, you guys have a good rest of the evening, day, whatever it is that you're listening to us. If you even got this far, so thank you for those that's the 1 or 2 of you that stuck around. I guess we'll catch everybody next time.
Sounds good. All right.